All right, guys, today I want to talk about the main reason people quit jiu-jitsu or martial arts in general, and that's ego. Now, ego isn't necessarily a bad thing overall. You need to have some sort of confidence in your abilities, or, if you put in a lot of work on something, you need to have confidence that you're at least reasonably good at it. But ego can destroy people in martial arts for so many reasons. One, someone thinks that they're better than they are, and they think that they're the best and no one can beat them, and then someone comes in who's unassuming and mops them up. I've had it happen to me, which is why I try to be humble. I've seen it happen to other people. You see a guy who's a black belt. Black belt doesn't mean untouchable. Black belt means you just put in a lot of time. And some good purple belt, even blue belts come in, athletic, young, and they take it to them and they beat them. And that weighs on guys. Usually if you made it to black belt, you're not going to quit. But I've seen guys, quit that day, get up, walk off the mat, and go home. It's happened in my classes. It's happened in other gyms I've been at. Ego, it's an inflated sense of self-worth, self-value. You think you're better than you are. And in this game, that can work against you. It's about respect, and you want to always be, learning. I'm always learning. I'm a second-degree black belt. I learn stuff every time I train, whether it's in kickboxing or wrestling takedowns or jiu-jitsu. It doesn't, my ego, I have one, but it's in check. I know where I'm good at. I know where I need to work on, and I know where I'm at in the grand scheme of things. I'm not the best black belt in the world. I'm certainly not the worst. But ego really attacks people. If you get a guy who's 40 years old and he's maybe a blue belt, let's say, and then you get an 18-year-old kid who comes in who is athletic, young, maybe a blue belt, maybe even not to a blue belt, maybe he's a white belt, before blue. And, the 40-year-old guy is a little bit older, he's not as athletic, and he's having problems with this younger kid. I've seen it, as a business owner. I've seen guys come in here, they're older, they've established their thought processes, their ego a little bit more. The younger guy takes it to him a couple of times, and, that guy's half my age, why am I even training? And they quit. That's one reason. Ego also plays into belt ranks a lot. I've talked about that on other videos about how black belts act entitled, but you see it with all belts. I've had guys come in here from other gyms who have trained at other gyms and weren't brand new when they came in here. They came in as a white belt, which is the beginning rank, and they were good enough to be a blue belt. But, after a month of training here, they're asking me why aren't they being promoted, and I need to see more of them. And one guy, I didn't promote him as quick as he thought I should have, and he quit. And then like 3 or 4 months later, he came back, he started putting in the work again, and then I was happy with what I was seeing. I gave him his blue belt, and he trained for, 3 or 4 more months, 5 months, and then, quit again. And then a year later, he comes back, trains for 3 months, and quits again. His whole thing was, well, when do you think I'm ready for my next belt? And it's not about that. And his ego is what hurt, his progress. Maybe he's training somewhere else now, maybe he's not, I don't know. Like me, I'm a very capable kickboxer. I've had kickboxing fights, I've had MMA fights, I'm very well versed in striking. I'm better than a lot of people think I am, but I'm not a world beater. There's guys who come in here on Friday nights, which is the sparring nights, and they get the better of me, and that's fine. I'm well aware of that. I welcome getting beat because it means that there's more for me to learn. If I beat up everyone in here standing up and on the ground, then what's the point of me training? There's always got to be something to shoot for. So my ego's in check with these guys, but some guys it isn't. Some guys they're used to beating up everyone, and then someone beats up them, they can't handle it. Some guys, their psyche can't handle defeat. I've seen it in here, with so many people. I lack very good wrestling, so like when good wrestlers come in here, I bug them, like, let's do some takedowns. And there's times where guys that were collegiate level wrestlers kept taking me down, which is what they should be doing. And then over time, I started to get better. I remember taking these guys down a couple of times, and they were throwing fits, and that was their ego. Like, I'm a college wrestler, you're not. You shouldn't be able to take me down. But in combative sports, just like any sport, anyone can beat everyone. Doesn't necessarily mean I'm better than you. Everyone has their day, right? I can be having a bad day, and you can be having the day of your life and catch me. It's just how it is. But ego destroys careers, destroys, I've seen that reason people quit more than any other reason. I've had guys that would come in here from another gym, they start training with me, and I get the better of them, and they quit here and go to another gym. And then I talk to the guys at that gym, and he quit to go somewhere else because he wants to be winning all the time. That's just not how it is, even at the elite levels. So don't let your ego get the better of you. Have confidence in yourself. Know where your skill is. Be realistic about that, and know that anyone can get caught. Whether it's jiu-jitsu, getting taken down by someone who is inferior than you, someone landing a good punch or kick, striking. There's world champion Muay Thai guys who I've sparred with, and certain rounds got the better of them. I'm not on their level. I'm not a world-class striker. I think I'm very good, but I'm not world-class. I don't have any world titles. But, my reach and my awareness for that particular 3-minute round was on my side. I was better than them for 3 minutes. But I realized that. I didn't walk around after that with an inflated sense of ego like, man, I just took it to a world champion. I'm on his level. And you see that. A blue belt taps a brown belt. Now they think they should be a brown belt and just skip purple altogether. I've had blue belts catch me, and then they're bugging me to get the next belt because, well, you're a black belt. I caught you. It happens. It happens. Ask anyone who's been in this game more than 3 or 4 years that hasn't quit, and it happens. And just because you get the better of someone who is definitely better than you or someone who's a higher rank, it doesn't mean you're better. That's ego in that way, too. Your ego can falsely build up because you had a good day and someone else is having a bad day. There's always factors that play into how people perform in training and in competition. So always keep that in mind. But don't let your ego destroy your potential for growth, because that is the biggest destroyer of growth. It's the biggest reason people quit. I've had some guys who are honest. They told me their ego couldn't handle it. That's why they quit. And don't, get it twisted that ego is not a bad thing, because you need some sort of ego to be competitive. Because you can't be super humble all the time and not, have confidence. If you put in the work, have confidence, but know that you deserve to win, you deserve to do well, but doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen every time. But just come in, work as hard as you can, and ego will never be a problem.